Let's get this show on the road. Alright, so now, whose stories shall I hear next? Whoops. There we go. Confused me. Whose story do I want to hear next? I think... There we go. Now that's better. That's better. So, where do I want to go next? I wonder out loud. I did think about going to go see Franklin. Franklin would make a lot of sense for stuff. But I am close to Tennessee, which has 2 of them. I have all these got all these stories I need to move out real quick too. There you go. Belgian cows. You for the broker, the bearded lady. Fostering California. Change you out for the tent city filled with strange members of cults. You for crew for Slamen to play Russian roulette with their own guns. Go driver who planned to race coast to coast. Then we go car hunted by the ghost of the father who'd owned it. Actually, I kind of want to get the who was each of them related to in terms of like their tarot, if I remember correctly. So Jimmy, I have a few of their stories, so maybe I'll save that until I've gotten more of the other stories out of the way first, though. Claire. Oh yeah, there's like, I have not nearly enough sad stories. Forgot about that. Alright, got a pretty solid repertoire of things. So, takes me to Richmond, Virginia, Washington, D.C., Boston, Jacksonville, Miami. Richmond's kind of close, I guess. Probably actually isn't, but... Closer? And if I just head straight west, maybe I can get there. Probably not the best thing. So let's keep going. There we go. And across. Across and across and across and across. Go. Almost. Go. I can actually see Franklin over there. So, like, you can see his fire off in the distance. We're about to enter into the Midwest again. Come on. There you go. There's the music I wanted. All right, Franklin, let's see what you got to say.
Hello again. So nice to see you here once more. Please, take a seat, I insist. You'd like to hear more about being a porter for Mr. George Pullman? Why, of course. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
Optimistic tales, you say? How about the story of the folks who ate the meat of a cow killed by dust and got asthma? It's not optimistic, but...
Might not be telling that one to the boys, actually. Worrying about luck? Well, a porter is as reliable as any piece of machinery that makes sure this train runs on schedule. So there's no need to worry about something like luck. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitement, you say? How about the farmer cursed to grow only dust?
That one will probably ruin the mood if I share it in our quarters. Home is where we go back to. It's where we belong. But there's nothing wrong with spending a little time in the rest of the world every now and again. Hey, do you know any spooky stories I can share with the boys tonight?
Spookums? I don't know if I have spookums. Let's get the army major who inherited Lucky Whiskey from his grandfather.
I'm not sure I get it, friend. Authority. Hopefully people who ride in a Pullman car feel a little of that. It's about more than a train ride. And not everyone knows what it's like to be the boss, to know what it feels like to be skillfully served. Pullman porters give you a taste, so boss George Pullman will know you'll be back for more. Anyway, you must have some funny stories.
Funny stories? Maybe the story of the crone who can... that is kind of funny. The man who fed travelers to his dogs. Get that one going.
That's a tall one. Don't pull my leg, okay? Traps. Imprisonment? Well, there's a difference between a train you have to ride and a train you get to ride. We porters want that difference to be us. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitement? Maybe. I don't know if I want to give you one of excitement, though. The three-headed bird of never-ending hunger near Boise. That one's kind of terrifying.
Not sure my brothers will find that if you're looking for family. You know why a porter can treat a passenger better than anyone else? Because when you step on this train, you're family. It doesn't matter who you were before or who you're going to be after you step off. Another night over. I surely did enjoy all those stories, though. Maybe next time I'll let down my hair a bit. What do you say? You must excuse me, friend. What kind of porter am I saying this trip is all about you, only to start talking about my own damn self? But enough of my indulgences. I hope I see you again.
Hey, you should... Oh, damn it. He's a chapter 2. Damn it. What is the... I thought the protocols were you have to get that eye fully open for them to possess the second one. That just doesn't seem right, apparently, now? I don't know, it's just weird, I guess. Alright, chapter 2, The Whistle of the Evening Train.
It's a funny thing, someone looking right through you. Don't lie to me, friend. I know you want to know the truth, what it really means to be a porter. Well, I can tell you it's more than making white folks happy. That's just how it's supposed to look. But you go on so long being how you're supposed to, you're not quite sure how to go back to what you are. Though I suppose I can give it a try. Have any optimistic tales?
Optimistic tales. A soldier who journeyed 20 years for love. I think that's more of a sad tale, but...
Might not be telling that one to the travel. It's not just people riding on these railroads. See, most days I'll pick up a newspaper or a magazine or an album somebody left behind. Then I'll give it a read or a listen, and maybe even sell it someplace where they don't know Bessie Smith yet.
Oh, so like how I do with my stories. Interesting. So he's making the connection that a porter is like a storyteller of sorts, but in like different ways.
Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good, happy story. You got any?
Trickster Raven who preys on travelers.
I'm not sure I get the past. We porters have to leave the way we used to think behind. Before, we were all just worrying about how to make it through the next day, the next 10,000 miles. But together, we gotta put what's behind us, and keep it there. Now that we've got the Brotherhood, we porters have a bigger future to think about. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Excitement, you say? Maybe the story of the crows that the bowl whose blood could cure any sickness.
Well, if that one makes you happy, I suppose it's worth telling. Sadness. That's one thing we porters can't let show. And believe me, it's hard. You get about 3-4 hours of sleep on average, and that comes out of your pay. Miles of smiles ain't much more than pretty words. It's hard to keep on smiling when you can barely keep your eyes open. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good, happy story. You got any?
The whippoorwill watching for death. The whippoorwill.
That one will change. I've changed with the job, for sure. You spend so much time on a train, you start to take after it a little bit. Nobody can maneuver, get over, and move forward like a porter. Tell me something that'll make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Laugh? Nah. I want to tell you a story that's... I'll tell you a story about railway workers in a train.
I suppose that's someone's idea of hope. I've heard some porters say that even up in heaven, we're gonna be the ones making the beds, shining the shoes, and cleaning the coins. I believe it. Don't want to hold you here if you need to be going. I've got to be going in the morning too. The next leg of my trip takes me along the rails this way. Where are you headed? If we cross paths again, I'd like to tell you more of the truth about what it's like to be a porter and what it's like to be in the Brotherhood. Keep an eye out for me, all right?
All right. And we got some stories to shift right now. Huzzah! Let's see. What do you got for me? Let's see. They launched a group recitation of the flock of grackles that eat human flesh, interrupting each other. It's the story of the three-headed bird of never-ending hunger. So it's a grackle is what it is. Alright. That's west, so I want to be turning this way. Heading back towards Cincinnati area. Maybe there's another story upgrade around here too. Is there a story upgrade around here that I can see? Not close by, it looks like. Alright. Right.
Welcome back. It's been a while. I miss talking with you, friend.
Oh, interesting. So it like opens up partially every time you meet him after that. Okay.
You want to hear more about what the porter's life is really like? The truth, not the happy mask? I can tell you about what it's like, and about Mr. Randolph and the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. It'll ruin the illusion, but I think that's for the best. You got any stories with a bit of
excitement to them? The story of Duckmaster Edward D. Pembroke.
I suppose when they want to liven spirits up, to bring each other joy, all railroad folk tell the story of the steel-driving man, John Henry.
Hey, I saw his story. Good on you.
But only us porters talk about Big Old Daddy Joe, the best porter who ever lived. I've always been more partial to that tale.
I think I've actually met Joe.
Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
I think Joe was one of the stories I ended up, like, collecting somewhere in the Southwest, but I can't remember off the top of my head. The false preacher cursed to roam the land.
So, does that one scare you? It's hard to have faith in a person if you never really know them. And let me tell you, it's hard to really know a porter. At least to know more than what he wants you to know. You can let him completely into your life, and he'll keep you in the dark about his. Anyway, you must have some funny stories.
Funny stories? Can't tell you about the funny stories, but the trickster who forced Lama to play Russian roulette with their own guns.
That's a tall one. I made my choice. But not every porter I knew wanted to join Mr. Randolph in the Brotherhood. See, they had seen friends fired for much smaller offenses and didn't want to ruin the good thing they had. But it was the only choice for me. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story.
Happy story? The village changelings who slaughtered their masters. I think that's happy. I don't know, I actually can't remember.
Not sure my brothers will find that freedom. That's what the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters is about. Getting our freedom. Some folks in this country ain't too fond of unions, socialism, or anything that's got them scared somebody's gonna grab what's theirs. And they're especially ornery when it's black folks organizing their labor.
It's true, it's a double mixture of what the fuck for those people. But come on, they deserve to have happy lives too.
They think there's not enough freedom to go around. I guess we'll find out. Have any optimistic
tales? The enchanted ring that tests the kindness of strangers. Guess I'll make that one an optimistic one.
Oh, love. Yeah. Porters like to spread news amongst ourselves. And nothing is more newsworthy than a phone number a pretty little Piola just happened to leave behind. Don't tell anybody, but that's how I met my last girl in Harlem.
Nah.
Another night over. I've got to get going. My journey takes me down the rails this way, but it was good talking to you. And how'd you like that, Sharon? Our dark silhouette's a little easier to make out.
Yep, 1 second.
Sooner or later, the whole world's got to know what we really are and what's it really like. That's the only way we're really gonna matter to anyone besides ourselves. And now that you know the bad, doesn't the good sound that much better? Sharing goes both ways, though. Is your truth a little more complicated, too?
Well, my truth involves a wolf, a deck of cards, you, and thousands and thousands of miles of walking. Story grew with the telling. Franklin's Travels. Chapter 3, now available. Alright, is this where Franklin becomes his true self, or do we still got one more chapter? We shall see soon. Representation of the changelings who steal babies from their cradles and eat them alive. Okay, that's a little different. Definitely a lot more horrifying. So, Franklin is that way, yep. So, let's walk through Columbus real quick, see if they got anything for me. Hey, Columbus. Got anything for me to see? Let's see. Hear the story. Listen to the story about the Royal March of the Peabody Ducks. The Pembroke, it's the story of Duckmaster Edward D. Pembroke, but with a lot of places replaced out. Alright, that's a fully awakened story now. That's good. I think to get about 15 stories out of them before things. But I mean, this part is usually the part that usually gets me a lot of the actual, like, stories finished off. Rising up to paradise. Oh, yep, there he goes.
Some people like to think of porters as some special kind of black folks. I suppose that's true. I know I don't always correct them.
Alright, so we got multiple vines and multiple masks, like to he cater so that no one can actually see his true self. Got it.
But we ain't special. Not really. No matter where I go in this country, I'm a black man before anything else. That was true before I put on this uniform, and it's gonna be true long after I'm buried. You got any stories with a bit of excitement?
Maybe. But I don't want to tell you the exciting ones just yet, cause so all of these have one told in them at this point. Yeah, I think all of them have at least one told in them, but I'm just double checking. So that's... Oh, no, this one doesn't. Exciting stories. The tent city filled with members of a strange cult.
Not sure my brothers will find. When I say the future's in the hands of porters like me, I mean it. Pullman porters help not quite rich and not quite poor white folks feel fancy for a change. But now, that's making us a bunch of not quite rich and not quite poor black folks. Curious to see what comes of that. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story.
Happy stories. Car haunted by the ghost of the father who owned it. Not happy, but it's something.
About family? Black folks have always had a knack for finding kin no matter the place. Wouldn't you if your family was ripped up without a care? Us porters all being brothers is just the newest incarnation when you get down to it. Tell me something that'll make me laugh. I could use a chuckle.
Chuckle, you say? Destroy the violin, which should only be played by its true owner. I don't know, that's not actually, like...
I think about the past a lot. Some days I think if I told my great-grandfather my life story, I'm sure he wouldn't believe his ears. But other days, I look around and things don't feel all that different after all.
Ooh, yeah.
Change is fast and slow all at once. Have any optimistic?
Optimistic tales. Farmer who denied an apple to an angel, so God punished him with rot. I think that's a Awakened story, but I want to...
That one? Yeah, I can share some sadness with you. It sounds odd, but I get a little blue whenever I hear that a porter is the best thing a black man can dream to be.
It is a very depressing and very unfortunate aspect of life at that time. And even today still, it's not fair.
This can't be all there is. Anyway, I'm in the mood.
Happy story. The tiger cub that tried to escape Runster's circus the day it was born.
A positive attitude.
Damn.
That's what I like to hear.
Oof, yeah, damn it.
I had a moment of joy the other day when I met a porter by the name of Oscar Michelle. Brother showed me some of those moving pictures they got now. He's been working on some of his own, too.
Oscar Michelle. I'm going to look that up real quick. Oscar... Oscar Michelle. Author, film director, and independent producer of more than 44 films. Oh, damn. Regarded as the first major African-American feature filmmaker, a prominent producer of race films, and has been described as the most successful African-American filmmaker of the first half of the 20th century. Produced silent films and sound films. Neat. That's cool. That's a cool little detail.
Glad to know they ain't just for white folks. Here's the sun. But this conversation has me so excited. I'd love to continue it. I'd love to tell you more about what I and men like me can be in this world. I'm headed this way next. Will you look for me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're my current target of learning the story. So... down to Columbus I go. You do not travel far, and for that I am grateful. There's a story evolution here. Let's grab that real quick. Let's see. Story of the trickster god who baits travelers into sins, then steals their souls. It sounds like the enchanted ring that tests the kindness of strangers. Huh. Okay. Puts on a dark lens, but yeah, it did feel like if I didn't get the ring to him, something bad would happen. Alright, 1 second.
Friend, it's good to see you again. We've both covered many miles since we last met, but your words are fresh in my mind.
Alright, back we go.
I've wanted to finish telling you about what it's really like being a porter, about who I am, really, about the many things I am, the many roles I play. Are you ready to hear, friend?
Sure.
You got any stories with a bit of excitement?
The excitement. The trees that sing stories of those deported from Los Angeles. That's more sad than anything else, but...
Traps? Well, I'm about as free as a black man can get. But there's still so much that's got me trapped. My train, my boss, my money, my face, my smile. I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that true sadness to it.
True sadness, so I will not give you that. The driver who planned to race coast to coast.
Travel is changing the world, friend. When we drop off a new jazz album someplace folks ain't never heard it before, we're dropping off a bit of the new culture. We help it spread. Now, we ain't writing those damn songs, but I think that's worthy of some credit. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
You need to kind of propagate the music if you want it to spread, and that causes cultural changes. That's why the transportation and communication networks of the last century have caused so much interesting social upheavals and in pushing towards the positive, which is why you got a lot of people pushing back against it because they're not used to it and they're not wanting to deal with the changing times, which is depressing, but whatever, they'll have to deal. The road of dust storms in the name of science.
Didn't I hear that story on the radio?
Damn.
You told it better, though. Home is changing. Black folks used to be all down in the country, but that was no home. Now we're all moving around, mostly up north. Wonder if that's gonna be any better. Maybe moving is all that you can hope for when you don't have a place to go. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good
happy story. The lawbroker who loved the bearded lady down near San Diego. I want to get this one awakened. It's been a while.
Just like I told you, friend. Miles of smiles. Love. I was worried about losing it. I was afraid having to pretend to be kind all the time would stop me from feeling the real deal. But I guess I'm just a bad actor. Because none of what I perform for those passengers compares to the love I have for my brothers and my people. Have any optimistic
tales? Don't know if it's the androgyne who stole the styles of men and women for a rival cause.
A positive attitude. When I say the future's in the hands of porters like me, I mean it. Pullman porters help not quite rich,
oh yeah,
but now,
already got that one.
Curious to see what...
Yep.
Seeing yourself as just one part of a whole people can make you feel real small. I believe some black folks become porters to try to get above all that. But they just end up feeling small in a different type of way. I think of all I am in all the masks I wear. Franklin, black man, Pullman porter, railroad man, union man, and how none tell the whole story. So why try?
But they're all parts of the whole, and they all make up who you are as a person.
It's freeing to know you mean more than what other folks think. So what about you, friend? Who are you, completely?
I'm a spooky, scary skeleton. Oh, he's the sadness one. Interesting. I did not think he'd be the sadness one. Alright, that's another one down. I might not actually end up collecting all the stories before the game ends. Let's see. The man who killed travelers and cured their meat. It's the story of the man who fed travelers to his dogs. Alright. That one's fully awakened now. What's the one he gave me? A pocket watch. A beautiful brass conductor's pocket watch. It's broken, though. The hand stopped at 11:59. 11:59? Like that train that takes railroad workers off to heaven. I see the connection there. Takes me to Cleveland. Okay. Okay. So I got a way to get back up here a lot quicker. Let's go to Jacksonville. Go to Jacksonville, get my stories upgraded, then we'll head back up to Cleveland. And we go this way. Kindly old man sharing the shade. All true stuff that happened. Launches into a story about the scientists who could conjure dust storms, not death storms. It's the story of the women who drove into dust storms in the name of science, but wilder and stranger. Yep. It's a very strange story. You know, it says Jacksonville, but I'm always in Savannah. Whoops. And here we go. And here we go, another talking point. To the bus stop with an old man. Story. Stumbles through the story of a tale about the 11:59 train that killed all who heard its whistle. The story of the 11:59 train that carried railroad workers away to their final resting place. Alright, that story has evolved all the way now. That beat poet dude is probably going to want a lot of sad stories. Let's see. The topic just in place, she starts telling you about the army major whose luck in the Great War came from his family's blessed whiskey. That's a good one. That's a good one. Then we go back over here. Grab you. Showing us a story. A story about the black-winged death taking the soul of a drunkard. A new version of the tale, the whippoorwill watching for death. Very strong story. There we go. Spend a lot of time in the shade. Story about the former Wall Street tycoon who becomes a bearded lady. You realize almost this is a tale of the broker who loved the bearded lady. That's a interesting evolution of the story. We'll see how the final evolution pans out, I guess. I'd love you just go across the house. Recitation of the blessed trickster, supernaturally immune to all bullets shot by cops. Interesting. So how is that one? What is the final evolution of that one going to be? Or is that the final evolution? Oh, it is the final evolution. Okay. And take you. We think. Oh shit! Story of the tent city filled with members of a strange cult but wildly altered. What do you call it? I always forget that one starts out at the beginning. The sparkling tent city where once you enter you can't ever leave. I mean, I left, so that's not true. But all right. About the tiger cub destined to lead circus animals out of captivity. Oh, it's the tiger cub that tried to escape on its first day. Aw, good on that one. Yay, another fully evolved story. Getting through these at decent pace. Let's see. The story about the folks who ate a cow killed by dust and were filled with dust themselves. About the meat of a cow killed by dust and got asthma. Want a full or a... Yep, a full awakening. The Dust People. Sounds like a good Call of Cthulhu story. Hey, to manage to distract himself from something, he stumbles quickly through a tale about the fastest man who ever to drive coast to coast, confusing himself now and then. Story of the driver who planned to race coast to coast but massively changed. So now he has actually raced coast to coast. Got it. Now we go back over here. Let's see. A tale about the cursed violin forever haunted by Louis Ames. It is the twisted story about the violin which could only be played true by its owner. Alright. There we go. Party about the hoary raven who got wise by eating the eyes of wise men. The story of the trickster raven who preys on travelers. Okay. There's that one. Next, what do we got? What do we got for next? Truck having for that argument. The man on the radio finishes a wild story about the Satan-worshipping preacher who poses as a man of God and preys on unsuspecting faithful. Okay. Alright, another story evolved. How many more of these we got, my friend? Works his way through a long and strange story about the infamous gender outlaw who flouted rules, broke hearts, and changed the world. Okay, it's about the androgyne. Okay, it's a great story. That one's evolved now, too. Back over here. Yeah, topic drifts, and she starts telling you about the soldier who came back from the dead for love. The soldier who journeyed 20 years for love. More outrageous. Good, good. Over here. Back to you. Let's see. A wild story about the farmer cursed to wander, bringing death to every land he visits. It's the story about the farmer cursed to grow only dust. Alright. And over here. Back over to here. Let's see. The story about the hot summer winds that scream the violence of repatriation in Los Angeles. About the trees that sing songs of those deported from Los Angeles. Oh, geez, yeah. That's a dark story. Good story, but a dark one. The wild story about the father whose ghost possessed his car in order to drive his children across America. Story of the car haunted by the ghost of the father who owned it. About the father who died in the car. That was a very sad story to come across. Oh, that's all of them. So let's do some switch outs. Millions of colorful butterflies sweeping across the sky. Tiger Cub to Potion. Revealed the auras of living things. Oh yeah, the LSD drink. Satan worshipping preacher for the glorious woman preaching the gospel to all who could listen. Oops. And train for the horse, the disgusting human parasite. Love for the horny monster girl who sends bewitching tokens to maidens. Hate the dust for the bald eagle, the hunting bald eagle out by San Francisco. Oh man, all these are still closed. I have to double down on that one at some point. Man who robbed banks and gave the money to farmers. And instead of the androgyne, we get the beautiful woman who broke the hearts of musicians. Blessed trickster for the painter who cheated on their fee, killed the man who hired them. Changelings to the box, the strange creature inside it in the northwest, the weird Cthulhu monster. Fastest man ever to drive coast to coast for the bus rider displaced in time and space. Soldier came back from the dead for Joe, the Pullman porter, so wise he could even talk bandits down. Yep, that's the famous guy. So I talked with a person that Franklin admired, John Henry. I saw like the finishing touches of him after he died, and then I saw Joe, the Pullman porter, which is a person that Franklin met as well and was inspired by. Before I even met Franklin, I think. Father of Ghosts. Secret farm for the downtrodden. Let's see. The farmer cursed to wander, bringing death to everything he does. The little girl with the wheelbarrow around Omaha. Scientist who could conjure dust storms for the stranger in the woods in California. That guy, yeah, that one was creepy too. Oh, damn. I am down to 7 stories. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Invisible Gunslinger. Hot Summer Days for repatriation. The Coyote with the Possessed Bone Man. Man who killed travelers. For the death of John Henry, the strongest railroad worker ever. Army Major for the child who lived a life of crime. The Raven for the Architects. Cursed Violin for the man who discovered Pluto. And then I just have a bunch of sad stories. So I'm actually going to put Franklin's in as like one of those like, oh, I just want to get the thing because I need his story to upgrade if I can. Can't remember if that is actually how that one particularly works. Now, let's head back up to Cleveland. Now that I have this. And our next thing I want to do is just for the heck of it. I'm actually going to ignore, I think his name is Cass. Yeah, Cassidy. I'm going to ignore Cassidy for right now. I'll come back to Cassidy later. And I'm actually going to make my way up to over to Chicago and go to Route 66. Go down Route 66. And then go talk with some of the people in California for a little bit. Now the question is this train tracks or is this a road? And if it's a road, is it a road that's going to take me the way I want to go? Which is towards Chicago. Doesn't look like it, unfortunately. And just when I want a car. Yeah, the car's going up towards Detroit. I'm guessing the car just goes a different way then, fortunately. Oh well, it'll also get me to Chicago. So let's keep going. There we go. Hey, Cassidy. I don't want to actually go on meet you, though. I just want to go down Route 66. Oh, because I want to get my kicks. Alright, nothing I can do here. You know what? I could... Let's get some coffee and then earn some money. Panhandle. Okay, no panhandling did not work. But, should be able to hitchhike down this road. And I'm gonna hitchhike for a bit. How far will it take me, I wonder? Everyone just enjoy the miles carved by. If only it was this quick to get across the United States. Alright, it's gonna stop me at St. Louis. We're gonna go through St. Louis. Oh, we'll see in a second. Get your kicks. All right, I got the achievement that I wanted. So enter St. Louis. Oh god. Oh god. Ah. All right. So next. I need to start like going on some of the train tracks too, I think. I could hop a ride through Route 66 still, just to get a little further. Maybe. Then I can start like with these four people here. Rose, the Curianda lady, I can't remember who you are, and the cowboy. That would be interesting. See. All right. See. This train leads me where? Oh, no, this train would lead me further east again. I don't want to go east, so need to head Illinois. Do I want to go this way? Yes. Maybe.